Barney here is reactive at the door. And one of the things that I wanted the guardians to do is to start teaching him just because the door is open doesn't mean you have permission to go out. Now, one of the rules I usually suggest for my clients is to make the dog sit before we let it in or out of the door. This is almost the dog's way of asking. Eventually, if you do it enough, the dog comes sit at the door. It's its way of saying, I want to go out. Now, if I come and say sit, and he doesn't sit, and I keep on saying it, the more I say it, the less I mean it. So what I do is I come in the door and say sit once. So sit. And then I would open the door and let him out to begin with. If he didn't sit, I would walk away and I would wait 1 minute, and then I would come back and tell him to sit again one time. If he doesn't comply within about 5 seconds, I walk away this time for 2 minutes. Then I come back and give him another opportunity to comply the first time. Sit. Then I would open the door. Anytime the butt hits the door, you want to open that door right away. But let's say he doesn't sit, the next time I would walk away for 2 minutes, then for 4 minutes, then for 8 minutes, so I keep on doubling the amount of time. Now once you get to the point where you come to the door and he'll just sit automatically, the next step is to teach him not to rush through the door, and that's what we're going to go over in this video. Sit. Now, his instinct is just to run out the door. This is not the heavy-duty leash, but that's all right. So you see that sound, he started leaning forward. So this is the part where you can make sure you're seeing him. So you saw how he learned, just that sound made him look there. See that lunge. Sit. Sit. So all I'm doing is just getting him used to me reaching. This is kind of why I talked a little bit off camera, breaking down individual steps. Sit. I apologize for letting out all the cool air on a hot day in Nebraska. I don't like doing a lot of leash corrections. It's really something I'm trying to get away from. We did it in the first video because sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But I don't want him to listen because of leash correction. Sit. So each time we go a little bit further, sit. Anytime he gets up, the door immediately closes. Now, he did pretty good there. He got up at the end. But if you practice every time, first of all, you got to master that he sits down before we let him out. First we do it one direction, then we do it with both directions. So he would rather be outside. I start it when he's inside because I'm controlling the resource and that gives me more leverage in the situation. But once we can do it with both ways and he does it consistently, sit. Now I wouldn't do this with a treat. He just needs, this is his way of asking to go outside is he has to sit. And he has to maintain the sit in order to get permission. Sit. Now I'm doing this in kind of a compacted mode. We would want to practice this gradually, like I said, first teaching him to sit. But eventually it gets to the point where you can open that door wide like that. Normally he's racing out by now. So we're already taught him that he has to get permission to go outside. And then I would say a release word. Don't say the word okay. It's what most people use. It's the top 50 word in English. So I just use it too often when we're in a conversation. I might be doing this and he might say it, one of you might say it to each other and then he runs out and there might be somebody in the backyard that we don't want. So then I would say release, or I might have a word that's unique to the backyard. Yard, whatever, south, whatever direction that is. Something along those lines so he understands I can't, just because the door is open doesn't mean I have permission to go out. I need permission from the humans to actually do the behavior. This helps the dog start to think about the activity rather than just simply reacting every time. I look for ways that we can add a little bit of structure to the dog on something it's going to do on a regular basis, and then every time we repeat it, it's a mini obedience training session for the dog. So this is kind of what I would suggest the guardians do. We went over other ways to delay gratification off camera, but this is just a good example, and I wanted to show this. I don't think I've actually shown how to teach the dog to stay until you actually open the door. All right.